briefly sanded the outside just to get the shape exact. Looks beautiful. It's a beautiful beech anyway. And this is Swedish cedar, Swedish chestnut, the top wood is. But that's the back and everything off. I put each surface on the bench sander to get it nice and flat. You want the stem here. I decided actually that I would carve the shape out, as I do a little bit of carving during the winter time. So just so that really I can get the shape of the stem for the roses really. So I just used a simple carving knife, and we'll carve around here. I won't leave it at that. I don't want the carved look. I'm going to try and get the corners all in here, try and get them really smoothed out, and then I'm going to use a Dremel to finish it. So I was just doing a bit of an update. That's what the idea is. Once I've finished doing that, I'll show you how it comes out. The boxes on, I finished the part of the carving. Show you it there. It stems. I hope to get it a little bit rounder with Dremel sander, but that's actually the pods. The base is to be sanded. The base is to be sanded down. There's actually a bit of wood, that's why it's tilting slightly forward, because it's underneath the backs is to be sanded square. Still not looking anything spectacular, but you can sort of feel it starting to come together now. That's it, just wanted to show you. So it's all chipped out, and give that a bit of depth just for them sitting on. Right, that's the box ready. I decided to put the magnets on, as I explained earlier. I made a template for that. I just traced over the back of the box, and I put the 3 holes there that are going to be for my magnets, and that's going to be my drill guide for them. So I just put them onto there. I just actually used that to mark the spots, and then I also measured out the wall sizes. So I did a template for that, so each wall is roughly about the same shape. So I did that, and then to do the lid, to get it matching, because I've had many mistakes where I've put the magnets in the wrong place and the box sits on like that, and there's no to say that that won't happen this time, because these mistakes happen with me all the time. But to try and stop that from happening, when I did the template for the bottom, I then place this on top, get it roughly to the correct position, lift it off with the template and mark it, and that way hopefully the two should match up once the magnets are in. I use epoxy to put the magnets in. I just found these ones. I think they're 3mm. Yeah, 3mm. Yeah, 3mm wide and 1mm deep. So I've actually done the holes already on this one, so that's them marked and ready to go there, and marked and ready to go there. I actually put a little guide on the end of the drill piece so that I didn't drill down too much, just to try and stop the magnet dropping in too far. And I'll empty the epoxy into there and then just sit them on the top, and then I'll sand off any markings on there after. So the next thing we need to do now is to get the inside of this cut out, and obviously we have to have a point of entry. The stem will be here, so I've decided to put the point of entry down at the stem, or just off it. I think it's just there I put, because I've already cut one, but anywhere at the bottom there, and then you can't see it then once it's all in place. So the next thing I'll do is we'll use the 1/8 of an inch blade, and we'll just cut all around there. Now we need to keep the inner box as complete as possible, because this is actually going to make the drawer then. But we'll go to the bandsaw first, and I'll show you cutting that out, and then I'll come back after. Cut now. So next thing we need to do is, this is the inner box, so first thing we need to do is to take the back off it, and then we will cut the shape out of it. But I'll meet you at the bandsaw, we'll cut the back off, and then I'll come back and show you how I'll show you now. I basically place it back into the box area. It's roughly going to be sitting like this, So you want to get as much of the box as possible. So I'll mark roughly there. I don't do any measurements on this, just do it pretty roughly. So I put a couple of lines onto it, and then I will just swing it round and take the inside of the box. Right, so that's it. So I'm hoping you can see for the light. The light's not very good here. So that will be the inner box then. And obviously the front of the box is the front bit. So I'll go to the bandsaw, we'll cut the back off, we'll go to a smaller bandsaw and we'll cut this bit out. And then we'll come back. I made it into a block with it being an odd shape. I just used hot glue. Makes it a little bit more sturdy and something to grip my hands onto when I'm cutting the back off. Before I do finally attach that, I will sand both edges with the belt sander. Well, that's it all cut. This bit comes out now. Leaves us at the back. Good depth in that drawer. And this will be the front. So now I'm going to go away and I'm going to glue up. The way I do it is I'll glue the back on first and let that dry. I'll then glue the box together and let it dry. And then what I do to get this fitting in the correct position, because it won't be sitting down the bottom, it'll be sitting in the middle. So I actually put a little bit of card in the bottom, and then when this goes into there, when it's all glued of course, it'll sit just proud. I'll then glue that bit, because I'll buff it up so it's sitting proud. I'll glue that bit, and then I will sit the lid on top, making sure that it stays all the time in line, and then that will be glued in place. I'm going to quickly put some magnets into here first. I'll do that before I do any gluing, but I'll go away, glue up, and then I'll get back to you then. Box all glued. Comes out, and there's a wee drawer. Sits back in, magnets attached. Doesn't hold it terrifically well, but it holds it enough that it'll keep the drawer in place, and that's really what you want in, because you don't want any sag in that drawer, so keeps it in place enough that it won't just fall out. So it's only obviously just one. We've got some slight discrepancy on the bottom bit there. We'll need to do some sanding on that, but that'll be for the next episode. So here's one of the 3 boxes. I've still a couple of bits to do on the other 2 boxes to get them ready. But that's us so far. The next thing we need to do is, after this point, is some final sanding on these boxes, because they haven't been sanded since they've been glued, and then get this ready and get a base. Figure out what base we're going to use. So I've got a little bit of wood. I'm going to thin it down, I think, so I've got a nice big base for it. So yeah, I'll get you on the next one. We'll see where we go from here.